as an undergrad and in business school, I did study Maslow a little bit. But I didn't think about him. I mean, after how many of you are from the business school here? Okay, so I will tell you that after you've graduated, about 5 years later, you'll use about 5% of what you learned. Not to say it's not a good experience. It's a good experience, but a lot of what I learned at the business school, I didn't necessarily take with me. I wasn't using it 5 or 10 years later. Maslow, I think I had subconsciously in my mind, but I hadn't spent a lot of time thinking about it. Between 1986 or 87, when I started the company, and 2001, during that 15-year period, we grew from one funky motel in the Tenderloin, which is how I got started by creating this rock and roll hotel called the Phoenix, to 15 years later, at that point we had 20 hotels. So by 2001, we had 20 hotels. At that point, all of the hotels were here in Northern California. And in the prior 5 or 6 years, during the dotcom boom, being the largest hotelier in Northern California, which is what we were, was made us as a company look like geniuses because we were in the best hotel market in the country, other than Manhattan. It was the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, San Francisco, and Manhattan were the 3 best hotel markets in the country, and we were the largest hotelier in San Francisco and Silicon Valley. But things changed overnight, and they started changing before 9/11, but the dot-com bust affected anybody who was in any kind of business in the Bay Area. But if you're a hotelier, it particularly affected you because people stopped traveling to the Bay Area. And then 9/11 happened, and people stopped traveling around the world for a little while. They definitely stopped traveling to the US, and foreigners in particular stopped traveling to the US. Then we had SARS, so that for about 9 months, Asian travelers were not traveling to the US or just about anywhere else. We had 2 wars, both of which we're still in, which didn't help because it meant that the French didn't want to come visit the US. And a lot of other people didn't want to come to visit the US. And frankly, the US had very new, aggressive visa policies, and many of you know that, in terms of it was harder to actually get into the US. So if you're a hotelier in the worst hotel market in the country, and you're the largest hotelier in that region, and all of your hotels are in that region, and you don't have deep pockets, what do? Well, you go to the local bookstore and you hang out in the self-help section of the bookstore. And that's what I did. I actually literally went to the Borders bookstore around the corner from my office in Union Square, and I was looking for a clue because I stopped taking a salary in April of 2001, thinking that not taking a salary was going to make a difference in my company. And then by 9/11, it was very clear that me not taking a salary was not going to make a big difference in whether we were going to make payroll the following week or not. And I came upon Maslow at that point where I was sort of trying to figure out in my own life, what is it? Why did I start this company and call it Joie de Vivre, which means joy of life in French? What is it that I was looking for? And Maslow sort of helped reacquaint me to the idea of self-actualization and why in my life, what I was looking for in creating this hotel company. I wasn't looking to get rich. I was really looking to actually be creative and to live up to my potential.